Alright, so we're coming up on the hour here. And we've worked our way up to the most important part of this lesson. Okay? Now I have right here, I have a new rule that involves, I call it a rule, that's all I can, call it. This is the start cage from any shape. The quick review: above start cage from any pentatonic works from any string chart, works for the relative minors too. That is, each relative minor is one scale member down from pentatonic scale. All right, how does this chart work? This is string 1, the bass string. Okay, if I start a G shape, here's a G shape pentatonic, right? Okay, it's A, C, D. It's 6 root 2 3 5 6 root 2 3 5 6 root. If I start that G shape from the 3rd string up, all right, so we go up, say 3 strings. Say we want to start on, now in this particular case I'm going to do it with starting on the A, so it would, but it works in anything. So it'll be right here. So instead of starting on this A, we're going to start on this one up here. It becomes an E shape. All right, so it's warp, okay, so that's that. It works like that, and that's start cage from any shape. Sure, you can, from E to A is going to be a 4th, so if you started on the next string up, it's going to be the A. But remember, C always goes to E in the start cage from any shape. All right, we don't even have to play this, but let's look at the rule, because I can show you on the chart. Start cage from any string, not any shape, any string works for cage bound vertical arpeggios. Choose the root arpeggio and identify the parent key if minor. Start the scale from the new string and count up from the new caged parent. Count up on a modal scale starting from the new parent caged. Example: start root Dorian arpeggio from string 2. Okay, so we've got the Dorian arpeggio cage bound, which is what we played here, 2 4 6 2 4 6 2. The parent key for the Dorian, according to this, is G, because this Dorian is an E minor shape. Look at the E minor shape here. Okay, so we've got 6 2 4. That's a second inversion Dorian, E minor shape right there. You can see it. All right, so that E minor shape, we're kind of like walking blindly, but we have to walk on the stones. We're walking across the river, but we find the stones with our feet. Okay, so the E minor shape is part of the G root shape right there. So in other words, according to the example, start a root Dorian arpeggio from string 2. So it's a G, the Dorian relative minor is the 4th, so use the E shape in this case. Use the E shape to start. All right, so it's saying that the Dorian is the relative minor 4th, so use the E shape. String 2 makes it an A shape. All right. I knew when I wrote this example, count up to the 2nd of A cage to get C minor shape, Dorian shape. And it works. It does work. Okay, this subject is going to have to be covered next time. My wife's home. So I knew when I wrote the example, I know the example's right, I'm not right. The important thing to remember is that start cage from any string works for arpeggios. And this is, the other way to do it is to just take the staircase, start it from any member of that triad, and then count it out, like we did. And I said I did say, and I can do this, we don't need the guitar to do this. We can do it with the chart. So the root Dorian would be 2, 4, 6, 2, right? If we wanted to start a first inversion Dorian arpeggio, or just start the arpeggio from first inversion, it would be starting from the C or the root. Okay, it'd be starting from the C. Oh, sorry, the Dorian, I'm thinking Aeolian. We're going to start the first inversion, be starting from the 4, the F. So it's, that's first inversion Dorian arpeggio. Alright, so we'd be starting from here, and you can always just do that. You can just count it out, but it's better to look for the caged shape that starts on the 4. Now, we could look for it, you know, in the sea of caged things way up here, for the Dorian that starts on the 4, which might, I'm getting better at doing that. Okay, so it's in the C cage, and it's actually the E, the parent key is the E-shaped 4 right here. Alright, and the Dorian itself is in that framework of the E-shaped 4 framework. So that would be, you know, if you built those with the toolbox, that's what you'd get. Alright, so that, I think we found out what the example was saying. It's saying start the root Dorian from string 2. Dorian is relative minor of the 4th, so use the E shape to start. Now let's just take a little shortcut here and go to the E shape right here. Okay, so here's our E shape arpeggio. We'll just start it from the root. I mean pentatonic. Okay, so we got root 2. Alright, that's the tippy top of an S3S. Then we've got 3, 5, 6 root. Then we do our S3S again, 2, 3 warp over, 5, 6 root 2. Alright, starting the 2 there, but you know, we're not really fully utilizing that cage starting the 2 there. If we want a real full root arpeggio, you know, we should start it over here on this cage here. So the E cage is next to what? The D cage. The D cage would be better at that point. But it's saying start it on the E cage here. Alright, and if we start that on string 2, alright, let's find a 2 on string 2 right here, and we play that E shape from there. It becomes an A shape, and pretty much it's easy to know that when you move an E shape up one string, it's going to become an A shape. So we've got 2, 4, 2, 4 there. You know, it's part of the A shape cage. It doesn't even look like it is part of the A shape cage, but I know this is right. I don't have time to explain it right now. It works. It works, and it says count up to the second of A cage to get C minor shaped Dorian. Okay, so let's look at this. In the E cage, the shape of the Dorian is G minor, 2, 4, 6. That is a G minor shaped chord. Okay, everybody would agree that is a G minor. There's the 2 on the bar there. What, you know, 2, 4, 6, 2. 2 on the bar there. When we take it over here to the A cage, it becomes a C minor shaped chord, 2, 4, 6, right there. So it works. And that's all we have to do is see one example. You know, this thing really beats you down. Every example you do with this works, but you look at one example and you just say, but I have to try another one. It works. So start caged or cage bound arpeggio from any string works with this chart, and we'll be talking more about this, and I'm going to bring it to a close here now. Have a good day and good